You know, when a company announces a deal worth hundreds of millions of dollars, it really makes you sit up and pay attention. But what's actually inside an announcement like that? Today, we're going to break down a huge contract that SKS Technologies just locked in, so we can all understand what it means, what they're actually going to be doing, and how it fits into their bigger picture.
Let's just start with the headline number because, wow, it is a big one. $210 million, that's the total value of the single contract we're about to unpack. A figure like that, yeah, it definitely demands a closer look.
So you gotta ask, right? What is all this for? I mean, how does a company even land a deal of this size? And what does it tell us about the industry they're in? Well, that's exactly what we're gonna get into right now.
All right, so here's our game plan for how we're going to unpack this whole thing. First, we'll look at the deal itself. Then, we'll get to know the company behind it. After that, we'll dive into the specific work they'll be doing. And finally, we'll zoom out and see that bigger growth story. And of course, we'll wrap up with a quick disclaimer and a question for you.
Okay, first up, let's get right to the core of the announcement, the deal itself.
So here's the thing. This isn't an entirely new contract from scratch. It's actually a massive expansion of a deal they already had. SKS Technologies originally had a $130 million agreement with the construction company, Hickory. Well, now they've added another $80 million to it, bringing the grand total to that $210 million figure we're talking about.
And what's it all for? It's for the design and construction of the electrical guts of a hyperscale data center. Now, hyperscale just means it's one of those gigantic facilities built to handle the insane data needs of tech giants. Seriously, think of these places as the power grid of the internet. They're the mission-critical buildings that house all the servers we rely on for AI, cloud storage, and, our daily Netflix binges. Okay, so who is the company right at the center of this massive deal? Let's get a little bit of context on SKS Technologies.
The company is SKS Technologies Group, and yep, they are a publicly listed company on the Australian Stock Exchange, trading under the ticker SKS.
And looking at what they do, they are definitely not a one-trick pony. SKS specializes in a whole range of tech infrastructure, everything from audio-visual setups and communications to the really heavy-duty electrical solutions needed for these huge projects. And they work across a bunch of key sectors, with data centers obviously being a major focus for them right now.
All right, so a $210 million deal for a data center. Cool. But what will SKS actually be doing to earn that money? Let's take a look inside the project.
This quote from their CEO, Matthew Jinks, really tells you a lot. He says the company is now a fixture in the Victorian market. So this contract isn't some lucky, out-of-the-blue win. It's really a continuation of the kind of work they're known for, and it just cements their position as a major player in this super specialized field.
The announcement breaks down the technical side of things pretty clearly, but in simple terms, they're in charge of the entire electrical backbone of this massive facility. This means installing all the power distribution units, building out these huge systems of cable supports, and running all the main power feeds. Basically, it's the essential plumbing that makes a data center actually work. And it's not just about what's happening in Victoria. The press release also mentions a smaller, roughly $3 million contract for an upgrade in Western Sydney. Now, this is pretty interesting because the CEO specifically said they want to build more momentum in the New South Wales market, and this new contract looks like a clear step in that direction. But here's where it gets really fascinating. How does this one contract, as big as it is, fit into the company's entire growth story? Let's zoom out for a second and look at that bigger picture.
With this new deal and other recent wins, SKS is now reporting that its total work on hand, which is just the value of all its contracted projects, sits at a whopping $350 million. And this table right here, it really puts that number into perspective. You can see the absolutely dramatic trajectory they've been on. Back in June of 2023, their work on hand was about $45 million. Fast forward to today, and it's exploded to $350 million.
I mean, let's just pause on that for a second. The company's order book has grown by almost 8 times in less than 3 years. That is just a staggering rate of growth, and it really highlights the kind of momentum they've built up.
And all of this growth feeds directly into the company's outlook for the future. Based on this massive backlog of secured work, they are now forecasting their 2026 financial year earnings to be around $340 million in revenue, leading to a profit before tax of $34 million.
So the crucial point here is to understand what all this information means and, just as importantly, what it doesn't mean.
Okay, and this is super important. We need to be crystal clear. What we've done here is break down a public corporate announcement just for informational purposes. This is absolutely not financial or investment advice. You should always do your own research and talk to a professional.
So after breaking down this one massive deal, it really points to a much bigger trend. So we'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments. What do you think is the biggest force driving this incredible global demand for more and more data center capacity? Is it AI, cloud computing, all our streaming habits, or something else entirely? Let us know. Thanks for tuning in.